Welcome to the private. Welcome to the private. All right, there we go. Good to see everybody. And welcome back to Creditor Academy. We're live once again, and we're going to have a conversation about what's going on latest here at Creditor Academy, as well as the additions here that we're having in a lot of our classes. Let me tell you, it was wild the last couple of weeks. Remember the SNAP benefits and the EBT at the beginning of this month? People got no cash for groceries. You lost their federal jobs. And guess what's coming up next? What's coming down the turnpike? 45,000 jobs at the IRS being slashed out. Remember when Biden went ahead and hired like 80,000 workers, and those 80,000 workers came in order to audit us, in order to enforce us to pay more income taxes. I mean, if it's already tough running a business already, I mean, now you got the IRS breathing down your neck. Remember when they said, they're going to show up with guns too? And they were just like the nerdiest people that Biden would hire. You're just like, you're so DEI hire and people that shouldn't be given a firearm at all. Well, now 45,000 of those people are about to be kicked out. Hey, peace to you as well. Good seeing everybody inside of the chat. Great to see you. We're breaking down a lot today to go ahead and have a discussion about the private side and how we navigate what's going on right now. If you pay attention, get this. I'm just going to give you a quick summary. We have millions of people who lost their jobs because the federal government got shut down. 45,000 IRS agents are about to be fired. Amazon here in Seattle fired 6,000 employees, and there's like 30,000 across the rest of the United States for Amazon being fired because of the introduction of artificial intelligence. Let's see, who else? 20,000 from Microsoft that got fired. Another couple, 10, 20,000 that were fired from Google because of their AI jobs. Overall, for all businesses across the board, 15% of people's jobs have been replaced by artificial intelligence. And, is it too shocking? Every time we turn on social media, we're seeing a new advertisement for AI and how it can make your business better and stuff like that. So now you should be thinking to yourself, fuck, my livelihood and my job is now no longer secure. I mean, it's almost like going back to the days when they did self-checkout. Remember when cashiers were so needed in every single grocery store? And then overnight, they were like, hey, we have this self-checkout option. Now it's in every single grocery store. Automation is just going to get bigger and better as time goes along. So now we got to start thinking about ourselves. Okay, we're losing jobs. The government inflation is out of this world because the inflation rate is just, I mean, you can't stop it, right? They're printing money like it's going out of style, right? And they're not going to stop doing that either. Then you got, on top of it, the interest rate that's crazy. And the banks and the credit card debt that you're in this debt grace system, from the collection agencies to the bankruptcies, to the student loans, to the late payments, to the evictions, to the foreclosures, are now piling up against you. So now, how do you even survive? How are people surviving? How are you surviving? Can you put inside the chat, how are you surviving right now? How does it feel to live in today's economy? A lot of confidence comes when this administration, when Trump kind of came in, because it's jobs. It's jobs, jobs, jobs. Right now, one of the biggest introductions to our society that I've seen Trump do was NVIDIA. They built in 9 months, which is actually pretty impressive, a AI chip manufacturing plant the size of Manhattan over in Tennessee. And they just built it. We heard the announcement that they're the first ever $5 trillion business. Wow. They're getting smarter with their chips and getting bigger and faster as well. So now you got to be like, wait a minute. So now AI is not only here, but America's number one. And these chips are absolutely changing the game. So now, what are you going to do? How do you stay relevant in a changing world? And how do you get your money up, or your credit up for that matter? And how do you stay private so then the federal government and these private businesses don't just kick you out to the street? Because that's what they're going to do, right? Even I saw this last week. People putting robots inside of their house. You see that? It's called the Neo 1. It's like a little dumb, robot. It like walks around and he's like, put the dishes away. And it's like 1 cup. And then it takes like 5 minutes to take that 1 cup and put it inside the dishwasher. And then it doesn't even close the dishwasher right. It reminds me about GPT when it first came out, right? It was frustrating to utilize. You go ahead, you type it. It did pretty good, but it wasn't smart. Now, look at it, what it is today. Just a few short years later, it's the most intelligent thing you've ever seen, and now we are addicted to it, and we must use it all the time. So now there are robots coming in our house, automations through the roof. They took away your EBT and your SNAP benefits. They fired you from your federal working job that you've been working for 15 years with amazing benefits and pension, and now you got to go be a McDonald's cashier all over again. The big tech companies are replacing you with AI. All of the other major corporations are replacing their staff 15% by volume with artificial intelligence. Interest rates are still through the roof. You can't afford a house. You're waiting for the market to crash, for the housing market to crash to maybe afford something. But even when that happens, in order for you to take full advantage, you got to have access to capital, in which if your credit is bad, your personal or your business credit is in the toilet, I mean, what chance do you have really? This is why the private is the safe. It's really the answer for everything. It really is the answer for everything. Let me kind of describe the private, because when I talk about the private, so many people are just like, what does it mean to become or operate private, Paul Michael? What does that mean? And I'm going to go ahead and kind of summarize this for you in a way that is understandable. Private airplanes. You remember getting on a private airplane? Well, not today. TSA workers, you're out of a job right now. If you looked at the lines in Texas, the line in Texas is crazy right now because there's not enough TSA agents. But if you're going to fly on a plane and you're flying first class, that's private. You get the nice little cushion seats. You get access to alcohol. You get access to premium food that they have on the flight. You can recline. You can watch Netflix and truly chill in first class, right? You see, the reason why we value the privacy of that first class flight, the reason why we value the private clubs that we're in, whether it's golf clubs or hotel stays or anything like that, is because privacy means value. It means higher value. We perceive anything in the private to be worth more than anything in the general public. And this is why we spend more on it. It's just the fact of the matter. So why is it that we're private about everything that we want in our life? We want that exclusivity. But when it comes to your business and your rights in society, that's second to you. That's secondary. You'll have the government breathe down your neck and charge you insane amount of taxes, regulations, statutory regulations, reporting and filing requirements, and they dominate primarily how you operate your business because you need the latest license or permission slip from the state in order for you to do your normal business activities. So I have seen everybody gloat about the private my entire life, even private schooling. But when it comes to operating with their finances and their business, it's like we turned a blind eye. And we just accepted, oh, well, what are you going to do about it? There's nothing you can do. You just got to take it and do what you can with it. And you know what? I'm here to call out a little bit, again, I don't like calling out other channels and gurus like this, but I'm here to ask you a question. Well, first, before I ask you the question, let's think about this. So, Paul Michael, what's the solution? What is the most powerful entity in order for operating your business in the private. Well, period, bar none, I've been doing it for 7 years now, is unincorporated business trust. An unincorporated business trust is essentially backed by none other than American jurisprudence, which is the case law to basically say that you can operate like a Rockefeller. You can own nothing and control everything. Look at that. The little business trust right there, how it's outlined. It's amazing. I love this thing. So what it allows, and even the Rockefellers and all the major people are inside of there. And basically, the Rockefeller said, I don't want to be regulated by the state. I want to be unincorporated. I don't want the permission of the government to tell me how I want to be operating. Okay? This gives you huge tax benefits because there's two things that are true in life about taxes. Okay? The first is if you get your paycheck, you're taxed first on the income that you generate. Well, when I look at my income, it's a lot higher than what I have after my expenses, right? And that's what a business trust, how powerful it is and is different. It's got those huge tax advantages because you're only taxed on what you have left over, not on the income, but what you have left over. Oh, and let me tell you, with all my business trusts, I hardly have anything left. I'm literally like sitting there and I'm just like, how much money do I have left after all my expenditures? And it's like $1, maybe 50 cents. And that's how I get the huge tax benefits after that, because I'm spending first and then worrying about the tax obligation. And privacy, when you're not registering your business with the state, that means that you can't be found online. The state isn't going to have their filing requirements and fees for you. They can't hit you with their statutory regulations in order for you to report certain things to them. You're unincorporated. Unincorporated means I don't want anything to do with you and I don't need your permission to operate. Okay, so now let's get into the question that I was going to ask for you. And this is a question for guru, every single guru. I want you, if you got your favorite guru, you're like, Paul Michael, I hear what you're saying. I like what you're saying. And it makes sense. But overall, I love my guru. I will never leave my guru. He teaches me everything about the private, the SPC, the status correction, business trust, private membership associations. He teaches me about the credit system, how to discharge. He tells me about the straw man. He tells me everything about the court system and the corruption. Why is it that I would listen to you if I'm already super happy with the person that I'm with? Okay. I want you to ask your guru a question because I have yet to hear any guru address this issue. Okay. Is the private is great. I love the private and operating inside of it. But you ever notice that anybody who wants to utilize a business trust or wants to be in the private in general, that they hit a huge, huge roadblock. And I'm here to tell you it's huge. And that is your income, your money. What I mean by that to say is so many people start a business trust, open up a bank account, and as soon as you start trying to run your business, you got to live like a hermit. It's almost like being the private is you got to live under a rock, you got to ask for cash or a check in order for you to get and skate on by. I swear, the private is just like, oh, well, basically, I just try to get around taxes. I don't report much, but you're living like this. You're riding on the skin of your teeth, is what you're doing. You're living underneath a rock, and people who operate in the public have so much more access to things than you do. And the reason why is because they just go a part of the system and they take part in the luxuries of what the system has built, which is an enslavement trap, but it is convenient, right? So, and this is what happens with a lot of people. You go, okay, I started my business trust, but Paul Michael, I am not advertising openly online. I can't accept debit cards, credit cards, recurring payments. I can't get membership subscriptions or anything like that. I'm like pretty much stuck in the dark ages, okay? And this is what I see so often is that PayPal, Stripe, Square, and all the other PSPs, the payment service providers, they pigeonhole you into saying, we will not allow you to accept payments in the modern age unless you have a registered entity with the state. And most people give up right there. Most people give up. And it's a hard fact of the truth, because as soon as you register your business with the state, you're their bitch once again. And they got you by the balls because you don't have a connection besides these PSPs to go through in order for you to accept payments in the modern age. And even every single guru I see, every single one of them, there's no exception, operates like this. They either ask you for Cash App and Venmo or an ACH bank transfer, or ask you to give them cash for their program. And for those who have PayPal, who have Stripe, who have Square, who have Wave Accounting or one of these other mainstream payment service providers, they have to sell out. They have to. And even though they preach the private all day, they register their business just so then they can make it convenient for you to take their courses about the private. I have been down this road, and it was a hard road to go down, because all of the payment service providers, when I submit my declaration of trust document, I show them my EIN number, they say, nah, Mr. Rowland, you're too private. We can't control you. We can't freeze your accounts. We don't know anything about you. There's no public information data about you. And if we can't surveillance and track you, then we're not going to do business with you. And that makes it tough. So now, what's the solution to this? How do you get around the cartel, which is these payment service providers? Well, here at Creditor Academy, I'm here to tell you, sometimes it's not what you know. It's who you know. And we have some great patriots who have followed us at Creditor Academy. And I made this such a huge point of interest at the Academy. And I said, whoever figures this solution out in this private movement, they're going to take over the industry. They're going to absolutely take over, because it's not about knowledge. It's about who you know. So I worked for months on this. I remember when I first started Creditor Academy, some of you have been with me since the very beginning, and you remember, okay, I got to Cash App this, and it's a hell in a handbasket to like organize all this. And I remember I had like 5 or 10 employees when I first started out, and now we have 104 full-time staff. You know, it's amazing to see how far we've come to this level. So what I would say is you know, I had a phone call with a Bankers Connect. In order for you to do merchant processing, you need a Bankers Connect and you need a merchant processor. Now, there's thousands of banks and there's thousands of merchant processors here in America, and you have to have the right combination. You see, you can't just call any merchant processor, because a merchant processor might say, I'll accept your business trust, but a merchant processor is always paired with a bank. So the bank says, no, we don't accept the business trust, even though the merchant processor says, yes, we will. You're not going to have a good deal. The deal won't go through, because the merchant processor needs the backing, the financial backing of the bank, because they're the one that's holding the BIN number, right? The bank identification number. Without that BIN number, no merchant processor can be in business. PayPal, Stripe, all them, they have huge banks that they partner with these BIN numbers, and they have these collective accounts that everybody's under. So it was like a needle in a haystack. I was like, I met a ton of merchant processors, and not a damn one can help me because the banks weren't in alignment with business trust. So finally, I actually I have great Bankers Connects, and I finally got referred to a really great bank and another merchant processor, and I finally found that right combination there. And they said, Paul Michael, we love what you're doing. We see the vision and the movement that you're trying to get into, and we see the passion of how many people are trying to get into the private. And the deal is this, is they said, if you help people get their business trust into the private. You show them the step-by-step. You help them get it set up. You get it notarized. You get the EIN number. You get the bank account and everything like that. You get that set up for them. We will accept every single application that you send over to us. What this allows me to do now is it allows me to open up the doors to give you my Bankers Connect. My Bankers Connect is the most valuable connection, I believe, in this industry. And honestly, I hope every guru that's out here in this movement gives me a phone call and says, Paul Michael, can I use your Bankers Connect for my followers as well? And I honestly think we're going to absolutely change the game. So step number 1 is you got to get your unincorporated business trust set up. Step number 2 is you need private merchant processing so you can accept money in the modern age. Does this make sense so far? Does this make sense? Okay, I'm trying to just show you what the difference is between registering a business with the state and the bureaucracy that you have to go through that versus doing it in the private. Okay, so step 1, unincorporated business trust. Step 2, your private merchant account. So what's step number 3? There's 3 steps to get into the private. This is step number 3. Step number 3 is you need money. What's the point in being the private if you don't have access to unlimited credit? What's the point, right? Step number 3 is to get access to your unlimited credit. And it's really simple. I mean, it's not complicated whatsoever. I remember when I was growing up and I was living with my parents. Living with my parents. And even when I talk to them today, they're like, Paul Michael, I remember back in my day, I can have $10 in my pocket and a bag full of jelly beans and I could get $1 million house. I'm like, what? How do you get that? How do you get that as an advantage? And I was just like, it's so unfair. The boomers could get whatever they want when they want to. And it's so true. The boomers are like, yeah, I own a potato farm and I need $300,000. And then the bank would give it to them right away. And then 2008 happened and the boomers screwed it up for us all, right? Because they were just like, we kind of extended ourselves a little bit too much with the type of, what we could actually afford, and then the market crash. So a lot of people now get discouraged because the game changed. You couldn't just walk into the bank, say, give me the money, and then just walk out. And now there's underwriting requirements, okay? And people are mystified about what these underwriting requirements are. You see, I'm here to tell you, if you know what the underwriting requirements are and you just check all the boxes of what those under requirements are, they'll give you the same amount of money that they did before 2008. All they want to see is that you check these boxes. Step number 3 is credit optimization. What we teach at the Academy is what boxes you need to check in order for vendors, banks, and credit unions in order to give you unlimited credit. And you just fill out credit card applications. And the great thing about that is it's not only the underwriting requirements for the vendors, banks, and credit unions, it's also the underwriting requirements for you to get your Dun & Bradstreet number. And that's the key. That's the key. In order for you to get unlimited credit, you got to be seen in commerce in the largest platform where all commercial businesses operate, which is Dun & Bradstreet, okay? Without the Dun & Bradstreet number, it's going to limit you in what your access to available credit is, okay? So does this make sense? So step number 1 is own nothing, control everything. Let's get you into the private with an unincorporated business trust. Step number 2 is let me get you hooked up with my Bankers Connect. And then step number 3 is let's go ahead and get access to hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars. And really, that's what your life is going to be. Is as soon as you have your profile optimized, for the rest of your life, you just apply for credit cards. That's it. That's the whole secret to this whole private game, is utilize the bank money to fund 2 things. Number 1, your business venture, your vision, your dream, what you want to accomplish and do for the rest of your life, right? What is your vision? Have you thought about a vision? Have you kind of suppressed your vision because you feel so enveloped inside the rat race I remember I was feeling the same way. I was stuck in the rat race, 9 to 5 every day. I went through nursing school, went into the nursing career. Then I went into running my own home health agency and stuff like that. But I remember being so a part of the rat race that I couldn't even think straight. You know, when you got a patient that is like, Paul Michael, wipe my ass. Wipe my ass and give me a pill so I can get knocked out. So I can zone out for my last 1 to 2 years remaining. They don't take care of their bodies. And then they want me to lift them. You know what it's like being in the nursing field as a male? And you're working at these long-term care centers, specialty nursing facilities, and hospitals. And then everybody's just like, oh, we got to lift the patient. Where's Paul Michael? You know how many male nurses are in the field? Not enough. Few and far between, right? And do we get paid extra money, by the way, for that ability? No, we don't. But it's okay. We're there for the patient, right? So now I'm lifting your 500-pound ass because you spent your life eating low-budget foods that were horrible for your body, and you didn't upkeep your body. And the reason why for a lot of the people, my patients, is just because they were a part of the same rat race I was. They're so busy having kids, raising kids, and going to work in the 9 to 5 grind and relying on the public school system to raise their kids that they just had, that they're not with it. They're just going through the motions of life. Okay? We need to break you out of that mold of the motions in life, because that's what's going to kill you. That's when it's going to kill you. I'm looking in the chats. I was a caretaker as well. It sucks. Oh, Zodog for sure. Wipe my... let me see the like buttons in the comment. He said wipe my ass. Oh, man, that's funny. I'll charge you. So private nursing, right? So you'll invest your unlimited credit on your vision, your dream, your passion, whatever that may be. Everybody has a different passion and dream, and I want you to live it to the fullest. But the second most important thing on why I'm telling you have to do these 3 steps and get access to this credit is so you can spend it on the second most important thing. And that is your personal expenses. You are never going to get out of this rat race unless you are able to get access to hundreds of thousands of dollars that you can spend on your personal expenses. You can't accomplish your vision to the fullest if you're working 40 hours a week for somebody else. Does that make sense? I mean, imagine going on Shark Tank and looking at Kevin O'Leary and all the other ones in the eye and be like, yeah, I got this really great vision, this great dream and stuff like that. I'm so passionate about it. And the sharks say, I'm going to give you huge investment money. And then we say, we get to work, we'll work 60 hours a week to get this done. And then you raise your hand and say, hey, sharks, I appreciate you wanting to invest in my company. And you love the vision and the product or service that I'm providing. But I got to pay my bills. I got to pay my mortgage. I got to pay my rent. I got to put gas in my car. I got to go ahead and supply for my family and put food on the table. So I can't quit my 40-hour a week work job in order for me to really invest with this, because I have my personal expenses. What do you think the sharks are going to do? They're going to drop your ass just right then and there. They're going to be like, what? Okay, well, you can't run a business off of 5 to 10 hours a week. Sorry. And that vision is never going to come true because you're not 100% into it. You see, the same logic as it is for the sharks on Shark Tank is the same logic for the bankers as well. When you sit down with these bankers and you're just like, hey, I want you to open up the vault and let me grab as much money as I want, which is pretty much our process at Creditor Academy. If I tell this over and over to our masterclass members, Paul Michael, what is your process? How do you get access? How do you do? What paperwork do you fill out? What do you do? And I just tell them to open up the vault. I did the 3 steps. Now open up the vault and let me grab as much as I want. And that's my process. I just walk in the vault, grab what I want, and then go from there. So in order for them to open up the vault, they too want to feel confident that if they open up the vault and let you grab as much as you want, that they're going to get a return on their investment. They're lending institutions, these banks and credit unions and vendors, right? And they only make money if they lend out to you. They're motivated to lend out to you. So if they're going to open up the vault for you and grab as much as they can, they want to know, are you actually all in? And you got to be like, hell yeah, I'm all in. But shit, I'm only all in if I can take a couple $100,000 and use 100,000 of it so I can spend on my personal expenses, so then I can make so I can like skate by, right? Does that just make sense? I mean, that just makes total sense. You need to pay yourself for what you need to do and supplement what your 9 to 5 is. And this is the advantage of the private, is you just live off of credit, business credit, and you go, it's like life is like the casino. Life is like the casino. I remember Patrick Devine would do a lot of, when I would listen to his audios, he would have a lot of examples he would use. And he would talk about America as a grand casino. I'll never forget this. It was the recording from 2012. And he was going through the American casino, our American rights. And what he was saying is after the chips are like the credit system. Okay, they took away the gold and the silver and we exchanged it for chips. So you take your gold and your silver and your certificates, your credit, what's rightfully owed to you, and you take the chips from the casino and you go to the casino floor. You find the game that you want to play in life and you put it all in and bet on it. Now, he said the caveat to this is you got to be able to rotate the credit, to rotate the chips. You don't put it all on black on one hand, right? But he's just like, you manipulate the system by utilizing different entities and different cards and lines of credit and different chips at different tables. And you spread out your chips across the American land. You put some in investment properties. You put some inside of business ventures. You put this into partnerships and whatnot. And then you just let the casino floor go ahead and work for you. Now, unlike a casino where the house always wins, this is different because you can always go back and get more chips. There's no limit to the amount of chips that you can acquire. And so is the same with the banks and the credit unions. You can always get back and get more lines of credit. Now, what happens if you spend the personal credit, you spend the business credit, and you're trying to make a profit and then make some payments back and make it big and stuff like that, but it doesn't work out? This is probably my favorite part. See, in the public, you're screwed because you're required, because you're registered with the state, that you got to follow their guidelines, and you get basically publicly humiliated and you have to go through bankruptcy, right? And then there's this stain on your record that anybody can look up at any time that, hey, Paul Michael Rowland started a business. He had to go into bankruptcy. He's a failure as a business owner. We have a public record of this, that his company had to go through bankruptcy and all this shame and stuff like that. And now you're stuck, right? With the business trust, though, there's no attachment. It's unincorporated. So what happens if this entity can't pay it back? You just put this bad boy into the shredder. It's that easy. That's it. Move on and create a new entity once again and start the game over. And you can do this unlimited times because really what this business trust is it's similar to a human being. It really is. The American Jurisprudence, actually, really, second edition, volume 13 on business trust, really outlines that this is a private entity equal to the rights of an actual person. You will never get that in the public statutory. Never. This is the most powerful entity. It's the only entity that you'll ever need. And that's why if you go to www.creditoracademy.com and become a masterclass member, we go through the 3 steps with you. We get you the unincorporated business trust. I give you my Bankers Connect, and I optimize your credit profile all included with your membership. And Monday through Friday, I am live in class to help answer your questions about how to fill out the document, how to fill out the forms, how to answer bankers' questions when you go open up a bank account. I'll help you with the application with my Bankers Connect and how to talk with them. I'll help you with the credit optimization and even teach you which are the best cards to get. I mean, I got one card that I suggest inside my class where it's $150,000 just for one card, right? So when I say it's unlimited credit, I mean, I'm being for real. Like, it is so you could get access to capital really quickly. And then you utilize that capital to turn $1 into $2. And then you go on your shopping spree. What you'd want to do is not take the credit and try to go on a shopping spree. That's what poor people do, right? They say, oh, I'm going to go buy my Gucci. I'm going to go ball out at the bars and the clubs and stuff like that. And now I'm broke and now every creditor is after me and, now I'm stuck from there. No, what you do is you take that money and you're just like, all right, I'm going to use this as an opportunity to do a quick flip for a car, for a house, for a business deal or a job. Turn that into profit, then utilize that profit to then go on my shopping spree. And now you're moving around the money. Now you are the one that's orchestrating your life. So those are the importances. Distinctions there. Okay. Let me go to questions if there are any in the chat. All right, let me see here. All right, write your questions out. Let's see. Okay, how long does it take to get a business trust? Okay, it takes 1 day. It takes 1 day. Because all you need to do is fill out my template, which I show you where to put your name and stuff like that, how to get an EIN number. But as soon as it's notarized, that's it. You're in business officially. There's no state. That's the great thing about the private. Things are done instantaneously. How long to get a bank account? Same thing. Just as soon as you have that thing notarized and you got your EIN, then you go open up the bank account. This is the thing, everybody, is you will not find anyone in your personal life who owns a business who has ever been able to open up a business checking account. Hear me what I'm saying here. A business checking account. It's an impossibility. Only through business trusts is this possible. And I would also say private membership associations. These are the two most powerful entities in the private. It's just these two entities that can open up a business checking account without being registered with the state, being unincorporated. Can you imagine walking into a bank and be like, I want a business checking account. Okay, let me look up your Secretary of State registered business. Well, I don't have one. Can I still get it? No, get the hell out the door. So what I'm telling you is very unique. Very few people are able to accomplish this. And if you have the right knowledge on how to apply it in the correct paperwork, every single bank, whether it's Chase, Bank of America, US Bank, and all of them, they'll open up that account for you. And really what it is you're always receiving something as you go through the steps, right? When you do step number 1 for the business trust, you're receiving your bank account, you're receiving your private entity, you're receiving an ability to shield yourself from liability. When you do step number 2, you're receiving a private gateway to accept payments in the modern age. Once you do step number 3, you receive a Dun & Bradstreet number and your credit profile so you can start applying for credit cards. When you start going through the tier systems, doing vendors, banks, and credit unions, you're receiving credit and money. So a lot of you have been in this movement for years. I have consultations all the time. They're like, Paul Michael, I've been doing this a year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. I've been inside of this movement, and you're not getting any traction. You're not getting any success, and you're not having anything to show for it. But then you'll go to your family members, and go ahead and tell them how great this is and how the truth movement is. And then what do they tell you? They say, well, I'll believe it when I see it. Well, I'll watch you first. So let's do the foundational steps. A lot of people lack the foundation, right? So come into the academy, let's get the foundation done. And in just a few short months, you're going to be light years ahead trying to watch endless YouTube videos of some other channel that's teaching you about another process, another template that you have to fill out, that they tell you how to fill it out, but then they don't tell you how to execute it. And you're just spinning your wheels over and over. What you need is an organized step-by-step procedure in order to do this. What you need is a proper educational platform and an academy. Here at Creditor Academy, we focus on education. Out of the 104 full-time staff that we have here, 21 of them are instructional designers. The instructional designers, to really just say it, they're people with master's degrees, and they are like the producers of a movie, okay? The executive producers. They're the ones that get the actors in the right scene, get them the script. They tell them, hey, how do we get you to, how are we going to set up the whole movie? They're the orchestrators of it. They're the directors, the producers and the directors, okay? So they're the ones that put the whole movie together, right? And that's why they get all the notoriety. Instructional designers, it's the exact same thing. It's the exact same thing. They orchestrate your learning experience, you know? So we have videos. We have immersive reader where the text will read to you so you don't have to read every little bit. We have the templates. We have the interaction side of it. We have gamification. We have live lectures. We have community groups. We have quizzes. We have procedural examples all the way put through the academy. So really, when you come into our ecosystem, I think you're really going to see a really high standard. We've really invested a lot to make this a very thorough and direct way for you to get the absolute foundation and education of everything you need to be in the private. Okay, so now what's the main goal, okay? Let's talk about where you're at and where you want to go. There's only 4 places that you can go in life. Did you know that? Did you know that? Did you know there's only 4 places? You tell me which of the 4 steps that you're in, okay? Just sit back, let this go in one ear and out the other. Okay, 4 steps in life, okay? Number 1 is you're an employee. You use your time, your energy for somebody else's dream. That's the first one. Once you get beyond that, there's step 2. Step 2 is called self-employed. You use your time, your energy for your dream. Then there's the third tier, which is called entrepreneur. That's where you utilize other people's time, other people's energy, and your own money for your dream. That's an entrepreneur. Then there's the 4th and final stage of this, where you use other people's time, other people's energy, and other people's money for your dream. And that's called a capitalist. The highest form of sovereignty in the United States and independence is capitalism. You need to understand, to be a capitalist, that we are in a debt credit-based system. They stole your gold and silver. They enslaved you. They gave you the poorest level of education so you can't be self-sufficient. They stole your jobs. They locked you up during COVID, told you that you are or are not an essential business or individual. They took your riches and your wealth and transferred it to private corporations. They branded you as another number in society. They put you in perpetual debt so then you can be a full-time employee for the people who run the system. You need to break out of that. You need to realize that the only way that they have this much power and control over you is because you allow it. You contract into it and you accept it. It's not only a process that you need to do in order to get out, but it's also a mindset. Is you have the right mindset? Do you have the mindset to say, I don't want to be a slave anymore? Do you have the mindset that I want to get out of this 9-to-5 rat race? I know I did. I know you couldn't tell me nothing. And when I first came into this movement about the private, I was so determined. There was so much information on this movement. But I said, if anybody is going to figure this out and get access to unlimited credit, I'm going to figure that out. And I think you are the same way too. I think that when you hear the truth, and you hear something like a rabbit hole or a conspiracy theory, and you may or may not be true, you're the type of person like me that you just dive down deep, that you just go down that rabbit hole until you hit and scrape the absolute bottom of it and get to the absolute truth of the matter. If you're that type of person, then this is the rabbit hole that you need to really get down. Because let me tell you, this is a whole nother wonderland. This is a whole nother wonderland. And if you learn these tricks, this movement, and you are not only going to benefit yourself, but you can also benefit others as well. Now, I want to talk about discharging. Okay, I want to talk about discharging. Discharging is so simple. It's so easy. It's so simple. And I want to give you confidence about that, but I want to simplify it. What up, Patriot County? Zodog, always good to see you. Go ahead and drop me questions or interactions inside the chat. And we will get this rock and rolling. Okay. Drop me questions if you have any in chat. We need capital to turn it around, brother. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, we need the capital. Absolutely, we need the capital. Good. Go ahead and hit the like button if you have not subscribed to our channel, or if you are not a follower of Creditor Academy. Don't miss out on any of these lives. Go ahead and hit the like and go ahead and hit the follow button so you can be a part of our community. All right, so discharging. All right, discharging 101. It's not that hard. It's not that hard, okay? You gotta really just accept the simple truth. And the simple truth is when you go ahead and you follow a guru on YouTube or any other social media channel, they'll get you a template. It might be a 1099. It might be a negotiable instrument. It might be an accepted for value. It might be a bill of exchange, and on and on and on and on, right? And if you do the process, it's not that the process is that you did it incorrectly. It's not even the fact that the guru taught you right or wrong about the process half of the time when you send the execution of this paperwork. The biggest issue is the person on the other end that's receiving your process, okay? Because there's two things that the individual could be going through. Number one is obvious. They don't know what you're talking about, right? They're like, I have never seen paperwork like this. I've been in this career working for the utility company, working for the bank, working for the mortgage lending company, working for the car auto loan place for a long time. You're sending me documents and paperwork I've never even seen or heard of in my 5, 10, 15 years of doing this. And sir, I can't help you. I just have my way of doing things, and I can only accept a credit card or cash, so if you want to do one of those two things, okay? So that's the first thing. The second thing is they know what you're doing. Second thing is they know exactly what you're doing, and they know exactly how to process it, or they know exactly how to get you in touch with the right person in order to process your transactions. And they don't want to. And a lot of the cases, a lot of people don't want to process something either out of jealousy or out of keeping people enslaved. So a lot of times, I'm not saying that processes do or do not go through. It's just sometimes you got to have the right person. You got to be talking to the right person. You got to be connected with the right individual. And out of the thousands of consultations that I've had with all of you great people out there that have talked to me about your processes for discharging, I'm going to go into my process here in just a moment, is you say the same thing. They just won't listen to me, Paul Michael. I explain it very clearly. I do it properly. I make sure I follow, cross every T, dot every I. I've done everything systematically. Why isn't it working? Why is the judge treating me this way? Why is the police officer stamping on my rights? How come they're not accepting my negotiable instruments? Why, if I'm doing everything lawfully and I know the corruption that's here, and I even cite the codes, laws, and regulatory things about, what's going on with the corruption of this system, how come they're denying me? And it's the simple fact that they either don't know or don't want to help you. That's it. So, which is really discouraging. It's really discouraging because you're just like, wow, I spent all this time, effort, and energy, and even told my wife and my loved ones that my financial problems are about to go away because I thought I filled out the document right and I got left hanging. I was expecting a check to come in the mail and it never came. I was expecting a bill to go away that never went away. Now I got late fees and higher interest payments that I have to do. Or, God forbid, in a lot of people's situation is you end up going through foreclosure. I've had hundreds of people that were hoping on the process that the guru was teaching them so much that they stopped making payments on their credit card, their house, and everything like that, and they lost it all. They lost all their retirement, all their savings, all their funds, and they're left, back at square one, essentially. It's very debilitating. So how do you discharge then in this credit debt-based system and have a high success rate, not a lot of pushback, and can confidently operate privately and live an abundant life? Live an abundant life. Well, in order for you to know, you need to know how the hierarchy is of this society, okay? There is the Treasury Department, and then there's the Mint, okay? The Mint prints the money. The Treasury does the accounting, all right? Simple enough. Then there is the IRS. The IRS is the enforcement arm of the Treasury Department, okay? Then below them is the bureaus. Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. They are not just unique here to the United States. They are all over the world, giving you a 3-digit number in order to determine your worthiness to get access to this credit debt-based system. And if your 3-digit number or your social credit number is low, then you are somebody that can't be trusted. You can't be trusted. They rule the roost of the entire credit system. And that's how you get access to credit cards, fundings, mortgages, loans, automobiles, and so on, is these 3 credit bureaus. Right below the 3 credit bureaus is the banks and the credit unions and the vendors themselves. Okay? And then below them is you. So you are on the bottom totem pole of all of this. And you have to go above the totem pole in order for you to get your remedy. I would like to say, very fortunately, is that you don't have to go beyond the bureaus. The bureaus are like the Wizard of Oz. And you remember the guy who was behind the curtain pretending to be Oz? And he's like, I'm gonna get you, and your little dog too, and I'm gonna get you, screw you, and this 3-digit number is gonna be over your head, and everybody is gonna think you're broke because I told everybody you're untrustworthy. That's what they are. But when you actually pull back the curtain and you expose the man behind the curtain, he ends up saying, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done that. I'm super apologetic. Let me fix things for you. And they're all bark and no bite. They're all bark and no bite. And this is the most powerful way for you to take control of your personal credit and the credit system, is to know how the bureaus rule the world, okay? And what they do to get you in this debt credit trap that they got you in. They want to start you off with student loans. They want to, and then once you're going through school and got the student loans, they want to give you credit cards and make it easy for you to get approved. So then you can start swiping credit cards to survive through school. They want to get you in debt first. That's their first objective, okay? Then after you get insanely in debt with student loans and insanely in debt with personal credit, then they trap you into that 9-to-5 rat race because you need consistent income in order to pay that down. And then if you ever think about opening up a business, they'll say, oh, why don't you use your personal credit to run that business? Because if it fails, which a lot of businesses do fail, then we can get you further into debt, which is going to make you addicted to the rat race. So you need to be first aware of that is the scheme. That's the scheme. Now, second, that you need to realize is that anything on your personal credit profile, anything, bankruptcies, foreclosures, late payments, collections, medical bills, student loans, foreclosures, anything like that, anything. There's actually nothing I've seen so far in all my years of doing this now that you're not able to discharge. You can literally discharge any of those things on any of your credit profiles. It's all a game. It's all a game. And if you know how to play the game with the bureaus, you'll never be trapped to being a servant to them. You'll never be trapped into your 9-to-5. What you could be is self-sufficient. Right now, a lot of you are trying to just keep your head above water. Not because you have a money problem, but because you have a credit problem. And that's what we say at Creditor Academy. We say no one has a money problem. You just have a credit problem. And if we can help resolve those credit issues, then, and for to have you to be self-sufficient to where you can get remedy for yourself and do discharging yourself, then you'll be truly free because now you'll have no encumbrances. No encumbrances. So that's what we break down. It's exactly what we break down. We break down, hey, we're going to get you in your personal credit put into the right order. We have a course here at Creditor Academy. It's our most popular course. It's called I Want Remedy Now. It's a statement that I've always said when I was searching online. It's like, I want remedy now. Give me a remedy now, damn it. That's all I'm searching for. And so we created a course called I Want Remedy Now that you can go to www.creditoracademy.com and see in our financial freedom section, where it goes into specifically the discharging and all of that. Now, the discharging is just a small part of that course because it's so simple to do as soon as we show it to you. That you'll be like, okay, what else can you teach me? The rest of the course is how to get access to funding really quickly, how to get 50 grand, 100 grand worth of lines of personal credit in order for you to now have some reserves. I love the credit game because it's the only industry where you receive in the mail free money anytime that you want it. And then you take that free money and you spend it on your personal expenses or you spend it on a business venture to do a quick flip, and then it just gives you that extra income. So I remember when I was working at Del Taco. It was my first fast food job. It was my first job just ever. I remember looking at my paychecks, which were like $300 a week, so 3, 6, 9, 12. So I made $1,200 a month, right? And I used to think, man, bumping and grinding for $1,200 a month was tough. And I was working full time and everything. So when that was happening, when I was working for that $1,200, and then I would get a credit card pre-approval inside the mail for like $2,000 or $5,000, I would look at that and I'm like, dude, this is a month's worth of work. And you just mailed me $5,000? I mean, how easy is that? Right? All I have to do is just go on the computer, accept the pre-approval, and I'm good to go. And you send me a nice little plastic card, and now all I got to do is just go flip something. I mean, I could do that all day. And so you will do the same thing too. Good to see you, chat. Let me see what's in the chat. Thank you, Zodog. Appreciate it, dog. Yeah, they take out the taxes too. Yeah, it was supposed to be $1,200, and then they took, their big chunk of taxes, Social Security, Medicare, and all that. So, yeah, not much. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe if you haven't. Go ahead and put inside the chat, man. Tell me, have you been in that if you're in a situation where your credit is bad, where you're trying to get your head above water. Maybe you're living in a tough neighborhood. Maybe your car doesn't work. Maybe you're trying to get your kids into a certain school. And all of that's being limited to you because you got this bad credit score. And you don't know how to operate in the private. Let me tell you, we're here to give you the full step-by-step on that. So why is discharging so powerful in the private? It's because you know the game. It's because you know the conspiracy. If you know the conspiracy on how they're screwing you and taking advantage of you, that's all you need to know. Because then the jig is up. You go to the bureaus and you just say, hey, I'm going to dispute this. Oh yeah, what gives you the right? You're corrupt as shit. Oh yeah? Prove it. All right. And then you tell them the story. And you're like, whoa, buddy. Wait a minute. We didn't know you knew that. And then I'm like, how could I not know that? It's so obvious. You'd be like, what? Okay, tell you what. We'll remove the negative thing on your credit report. You just don't tell anybody that you know that. And that's really it. That's how you get to discharge everything on the credit bureaus. Is you just point out the fraud. Now, I know other people got other methods and they say, well, I do this dispute process and I got this certain letter and whatnot. And I said, that's all well and good, but I kind of like a silver bullet. I like a silver bullet. And you just call them on their shit. I'm like, you're corrupt and this is how you're corrupt. And I'm whistleblowing you. And then as soon as you do that, they're just like, okay, all right, hold on, Mr. Rowland. Hold on. You don't have to be talking about that. Well, why don't we go over to court over it and make it into case law so we can have a class action lawsuit? Yeah. We'll remove your late payment. But that's fine. No big deal. And they remove it in like 4 days, upwards between 2 days is the fastest I've seen, 48 hours. And the longest I've seen is 30 days. So all of your stuff that is encumbering you from getting back onto your feet is only a 30-day fix away. This weekend, I'm doing a couple Saturdays this month. I'm having a non-member orientation. I want you to go to www.creditoracademy.com and fill out the contact, and at the very bottom of our page, there's the non-member orientation form, and I want you to fill that out. We have very limited spots, and I'm going to show you how this is done. I'm going to explain to you our program, what we do at the Academy, what makes us different. I'll get you guys to be able to ask me questions and stuff like that. And because it's important for not only do you get the information that I'm teaching right now, but the specific information that applies to you. Okay? So go to our website, www.creditoracademy.com, and go ahead and get resources out. Let me go back to the chat. How long does it take to get credit profile to get something like 100K worth of funding? Well, two things. Are you asking, Adam, on the personal credit side or the business credit side? I mean, pretty much it's almost the same period of time. 100,000, if you got a really good credit score personally, which is a lot easier to do than most, and depending on what your methodology is, it could be 2 to 3 months. It could be 2 to 3 months very realistically. And let me tell you how it's realistic, okay? So we do something that's really special here at Creditor Academy. Because so many of you, I mean, have you ever had this happen? You're like just starting your credit profile and it's like a baby. Like you have never taken out a loan, you've never had a credit card, or you just discharge things, and so you're kind of like restarting again, and you're starting at ground zero. And then you start asking, like, okay, how do I get 100,000 if I'm starting from ground zero? How can I increase this and get access to funding like that? Like, it's going to take years to do that. And you're absolutely right. It could take years to build it from ground zero. But not to worry. I have a solution. Oh, it's such a good solution. So I want you to understand that the best way to get access to high limit credit cards really quickly is to take advantage of other people who are responsible with their credit profiles. What I'm talking about is authorized users. Authorized users. At Creditor Academy, when we help people with credit and we get people to high limit cards, like $50,000 cards or more with some great history, and these people are responsible, everybody at the Academy allows other members to be authorized users on their personal credit cards. And what we do together as a class that's super unique is I say, let's each one of us scratch each other's back. Let's do a small payment because it's an industry. Authorized users is an actual industry. You can actually pay people to be an authorized user on their account. As low as $50 a month to, depending on the card, it could be a couple thousand, you know? So what I encourage people at the Academy, which everybody does because it's such a good idea, is for those of you that are just starting out and need an authorized user account to be on, but you don't have a family member, you don't have a friend, or you don't have someone that you can trust to be on there, go to our masterclass members. We have masterclass members that show their cards, that show very transparent, apparently, how much their card is worth and stuff like that. And what we do is I just say, be on 4 or 5 different authorized user cards from masterclass members. And in a 3-month time frame, your freaking credit's going to be through the roof. You're going to be able to apply for your own cards left and right and get that $100,000 really quickly. And that's the secret sauce. And once again, sometimes it's not only about what you know, but it's about who you know. So the who you know is my masterclass members, because everybody is concentrated. No one in my academy is teaching anything or promoting anything or distracting anybody on anything that's outside my program. It's like going to actual school. Everybody's like, I'm going to do the step-by-step of Creditor Academy, and we have a philosophy called each one teach one. So anytime you get done with a step or move on, and there's a new member that came in, and they're kind of asking some questions, again, I'm live every day, Monday through Friday, an hour a day to answer questions, give instructions to help you personally, which is a huge value within itself. A private consult every day. Come on now. How much is that valued with your guru? How many times you go to a guru and they're just like, it's $200, $300, $500 to sit down for an hour with me and to talk with you. And now you get access to me every single day as included with your membership. I mean, come on now. That's like $2.50 for you to have a private consultation with me every day. I mean, and I'm here for all of you. I want you all to succeed. So you do that, you go in, we fix your credit, and if you don't, and after we fix your credit or you feel like you're at ground zero, I'll hook you up with my masterclass members that got the really good cards, got the sauce, and then you go ahead and you can increase your credit really fast by being our authorized users. Now, here's the great thing. What happens now when you get access to high limit cards? What happens when you have a 720, 750 credit score? What happens when you get some good age on a cards? Now you could do the exact same thing that my masterclass members did for you, and now you can do it now for others. You just made a whole new side hustle. And the great thing is these cards, you can apply for as many credit cards as you want. The average credit card, anywhere between $50 to $100 a month. I mean, let me give you an example of what a $50 card is versus a $2,000 card. It's all about the credit limit and a combination of the age as well, okay? But if you got a credit card limit of anything above $30,000 on a card, that's in about a 2 to 3 month time period, that's $2,000. Okay, that's realistic. Okay, and stuff like that. If you got a card that's $5,000 to $10,000, that's like $100 a month card. Okay, so if you got that $30K card, which is easy to build to that when you're on a bunch of authorized user accounts and you're asking for credit limit increases all the time, right? Now, one card with an authorized user gets you $2,000. And I give you everybody at my academy to be able to help each other out because that's what it's all about. So now think about, you don't have just one credit card, but you have 15 credit cards. 15 credit cards at, let's say, $1,000 to $2,000 per card that you're charging people for a couple months. You're making anywhere between $15,000 to $30,000 every 2 to 3 months, just by having people be authorized users. And let me tell you, there is no shortage of people that need an authorized user account to be on. So it's a huge advantage because you're helping them with their credit so much. So anyways, so there's some game right there. There's some game right there. Go to www.creditoracademy.com. Come to our live non-member orientation that is this Saturday, and I'll show you the program and get to that. All right, let me go back to the chats. Dane, absolutely. I'd love to talk to you, man. Each one teach one. Absolutely. That's the motto. That's the motto. Yeah, I would love to talk to you, Dane. They got my packet on the 10th, and I got the green card back on the 31st. It took 21 days for them to send me the green card back. Okay, well, at least you got it. Okay, so yeah, let's talk, Dane. Let's talk. Let's go ahead and fill out a form, and I'll get you in my consult schedule, and we'll clear it up. And also, if you come to the non-member orientation this weekend, we'll go from there as well. All right, so let's go on to now the next part about the private that I think is really important, which is the SPC and the status correction. The SPC and the status correction, it's so demystified, right? You're just like, geez, it's like, what is it for? How do I utilize it? What are the advantages? I did my SPC and status correction years ago, and I've used it for a plethora of things, and it's helped me out so much. And I love it because it's so simple, but it's also, you do it once in your life and you never have to do it again. So the story is, to summarize this, is that they stole your gold and silver, but they also made you a corporate slave. They made you a corporate slave under the United States Corporation. There's a hierarchy here in the United States, and it goes like this. It goes God, we the people over the state over the federal government, and the federal government over the artificial entities. That's the order, okay? So what they did was, through the birth certificate, which is a contract, is they took us from our position of we the people, and they contracted us to identify ourselves as an artificial entity, which is the bottom scum of this hierarchy, right? So the goal of SPC and status correction is to reestablish ourselves under the correct order, once again, under God. Does that make sense? That's clear enough. So how you do that is, it's very simple, is you tell the public, tell everybody in the public, including federal governments, states, corporations and stuff like that, and you make a public declaration about how you want to be treated. I remember I was bullied in elementary school, quite viciously, actually, by a group of really mean teenagers, right? And when I was being picked on, I went to my father and I said, "Dad, I'm being picked on. They're beating me up, man." And I said, "What do I do?" And my dad says, "Well, have you told them how you want to be treated?" And I said, tell them how I want to be treated. "Dad, don't they know that what they're doing is abusive? Don't they know that you're not supposed to do this to another human being?" And they say, "No, not unless you tell them how you want to be treated." And my father clearly said, after you tell them how you want to be treated, follow it up with, "If you don't treat me how I demand to be treated, these are the consequences." These are the consequences. You put the line in the sand. I'm going to retaliate, and this is what's going to happen. Okay? That's what status correction is. It's a public declaration about how you want to be treated in society. I want my constitutional rights. I want to exercise my constitutional rights. I want to be seen as equal with my neighbors, and I want to assert my authority over what I'm deemed allowed to assert my authority over, right? So, and that's what status correction is all about. The SPC is simply all about taking control over your assets, okay? It's basically saying that you're confining a lien to say that I have control over my assets. I have control over my birth certificate, my social security number, my driver's license, all of my paperwork. And I'm here to say that the government, I don't need you to take care of my accounts anymore. I'm going to take care of it myself. Okay? I don't need your blessing to do anything. I can manage my own affairs. That's what the SPC is all about. It's like living at your house or at your parents' house and be like, "Can I have the car?" You got to ask for permission. You want to move the furniture? You have to ask for permission. You want to get a dog? You have to ask for permission. This is like you moving out and having your own property, your own things, and having, your own space and saying, "I can manage my own affairs." And that's what the SPC is all about. So it's so powerful because as soon as you have control over your assets and your paperwork, and as soon as you made it clear about how you want to be treated, everything the founding fathers put in for your benefit and is backed by the Supreme Court in case law, you can now utilize to its full extent, because you're no longer contracted to be into their jurisdiction, which is all about jurisdiction, in order for them to treat you so negatively anymore. So that's the advantages of the SPC and status correction. We not only do the paperwork for the SPC and the status correction, but we give you the instructions. And that was missing when I was first getting into this movement. Like, okay, I see a bunch of templates, but how do I apply this? How do I defend myself? What's the administrative procedure and stuff like that? And so we show you exactly that. My goal for you is to help you understand the SPC, the status correction, and how to execute it in order, and how to defend yourself so you never have to go to court. I don't want you to go to court. Man, I feel like every guru is telling me, you gotta go to court, you gotta go argue, you gotta go do this. I don't want to go to court. I don't want it. I don't want to argue with anybody. I just want to be left alone, right? Isn't that what the private is all about? You know the highest form of sovereignty is? Have you ever heard what the highest form of sovereignty is? It's the right, not the privilege. It's the right to be left alone is the highest form of sovereignty. And I want you guys to be able to have that, to where you're just not being bothered. You're being left alone, and you got access to your credits, and you know how to operate privately. Now, so there's a lot when it comes to that. There's a lot when it comes to that. Let me go back to the comments. Comments. Yeah. Yeah, no court, man. Yeah, no court. What documents do I have to send to the Treasury? Is it creating a bind of the birth certificate? So the documents that you're sending is pretty much a trust, okay? So basically, all of your assets are being held under the corporate fiction, the straw man that they created for you, okay? So think of it like you work for my company, okay? And I own your house, and I put your house under my company name. I put your car under your company name. You go to my school that my company owns. My company owns every aspect of your life. And you have to ask for my permission if you want to utilize your personal property. So that's kind of unfair. So then you kind of come in and you just say, okay, how do I get out of this? Well, the way out of it is to realize that you're not going to get control of my company. You can't. It's my company. I'm the CEO. You have no authority. I'm the one that created this entity, right? But doesn't mean that you can't create your own company and transfer everything that you own, because that's your right, to a company that you control. And that's what the SPC does. And that's why the first document of the secured party creditor process is your business trust. It's your declaration of trust document. It's your new straw man. This is your straw man that you own and control, and you have revisionary right to make sure that you secure it. Now, all the documentation that goes along with this business trust, this new entity that you created, which is the EIN number, the UCC1, and so many other documents, is really just to support the fact that you have full control. And it makes it very clear inside the SPC documentation two things. One, what the consequences are if you breach the contract of your new straw man that you created. And the second thing that it does is it tells a story. The SPC and the status correction tell the story of the corruption of the Treasury Department, of the circumvention of this debt system, and when they took our gold and silver. It tells a story. So I love this story in our SPC because it lays it out very clearly about what's going on, and it even outlines all the codes, the laws, the rules of how they're abusing their power, right? And so when I have to go defend myself in court, so let's say I get a traffic ticket that's unlawful or unjust or whatever it is, all I'm doing when I go to court is an administrative procedure. An administrative procedure is just the organization of how you tell the story of their corruption. And you set it up to really like a trap and say anything that you say against this, which is the truth, you're going to be held liable for your corruption. And I can take you to the full extent, and I can do a commercial lien on you and all that. And actually, that's the most powerful thing to do in the private is the commercial affidavit process, because no court system can stop a lien. right? As long as you do your administrative process properly, you can execute a lien on anybody. Does it have to be recoverable or irrevocable, express or given? Great question. So all business trusts, all of them are irrevocable. And the reason why is because if you make it revocable, you get all of the opposite benefits that come with a business trust, like privacy, asset protection, the tax benefits, it being looked as a separate benefit fund, no probate, no inheritance taxes or anything like that. So it has to be irrevocable. And this is another thing that's a huge advantage, because irrevocable trust, how do you break an irrevocable trust? It takes an act of Congress. It honestly takes an act of Congress to break an irrevocable trust. And what is the chances that you and Nancy and Pelosi are going to be in the same room, right? And you think Nancy Pelosi wants to be in the same room with you anyways? Oh, it's great. So yeah, so I see that you're talking about also, you have the UCC one. Okay, so you have bits and pieces of this SPC, right? So now, and it's great that you got the bits and pieces and you're putting it together. And there's a lot of templates that are out there. I would say the templates are great, but knowing how to utilize the SPC and not only executing and submitting it, but how to also defend your position and utilize the documentation and future administration process. That's what everybody needs. I remember when I first heard about the SPC and they sold me on everything you can imagine. Unlimited credit, discharge everything, life is butterflies and roses. And I remember thinking to myself, I just need to fill out the paperwork and submit it as soon as possible, because that's the only way I'm going to be free. And wow, was that an ignorant thought, because after I submit the documentation and it's out there, I go back to my guru and I say, okay, how do I now use this documentation? And that's where their services stop. They say, well, I was just here to provide you the template. Serious declaration to the federal government. I told the federal government very serious things in the templates that you told me to submit. Now you're telling me you're not going to help me in defending that position, and now they're asking me questions. Now they're giving me replies. Now they're sending me bills. Now they're sending me tickets. How do I defend myself? Well, I wish you the best of luck. Maybe go read this book or that book or whatever. And then they get hands off with you. I'm here to tell you, don't focus on the templates. The templates don't matter. It's the education on how to execute and defend yourself with those templates that matter. And that's what we do at Creditor Academy. We guide you through very clearly what the documentation is for, how it's used, why you're submitting it, but also how to also defend yourself. All right, let's go back to the questions. Okay, Dr. D. The right to be left alone. That's true. I want to start a road pilot service for the public. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, that sounds great. Okay, so Dr. D, your first step, as it is for everybody, is we got to do the 3 steps to get into the private. Okay, get you to own nothing, control everything. That's the first step. The second step is I got to get you my Bankers Connect so you can get the private merchant account so you can accept payments in the modern age. And then number 3 is we need to optimize your credit profile so that you can walk into any vendor, bank, and credit union and get as much credit as you want. Okay? And you get a Dun & Bradstreet number for that too. Everybody starts with the 3 steps. Everybody, no matter who comes into the academy, you could be interested in the SPC and status correction. That's great. We have that course. You could be interested in I Want Remedy Now and personal credit discharge. Great. We got that course. You could be interested in our private membership association premium course and so on. But everybody, regardless, they simultaneously do the first 3 steps. The first 3 steps is where everybody needs to get right. Without the 3 steps, you're not truly in the private. You're not fully there. And it's simple. It only takes 3 days to 1 week to do the 3 steps. It's very simple and straightforward. We really streamlined it in a great way. So that's your first step. Go to www.creditoracademy.com. You can come to our non-member orientation this Saturday. There's limited seats, so go ahead and register right now. Fill out the contact us information, and then we'll send you the link, the private link. Or you can become a masterclass member right from the homepage of our website and read the great stuff we have there. Joy Reed, I'll be great to see you inside a masterclass. And here's the thing. Once you become a masterclass member, remember, I am live Monday through Friday, which is probably the greatest thing that you guys need right now is individualized one-on-one attention. And I'm here to give it for you. So if you're doing the 3 steps, and you're like, Michael, I walked into Chase Bank with my business trust and I did everything you said, but they asked me this one question and then I just got absolutely stumped and I don't know what to say. Well, let's talk about that. Let's go back to that banker and let me help you. Let me help you. I've even taken live phone calls with bankers over the phone and helped people open up their private bank account with their business trust. It's the hardest thing to, it's one of the most difficult things to do in this movement, and I make it so simple. 99% of our members with my instruction are able to open up a business checking account with their unincorporated business trust, no problem. No problem whatsoever. It's because I teach you how to talk to bankers, you know? And this isn't a conspiracy thing. The banker's not going to look at you and be like, are you a conspiracy theorist? What are you talking about? UCC, blah, blah, blah. No. You will never, if anything, they're going to think you're really smart. And they're going to be like, how did you do that? And can you teach me that? You're going to be so professional. So professional. And that's what you need. Because when they open up the vault for you and you're going in, you got to be able to not only speak their lingo, but address yourself professionally. I've talked to people who went into banks and they try to do negotiable instruments and say, I want a non-interest bearing bank account. I want this and that. And what happens is you just get the stink eye. And they're just like, whoa, you seem really far out there, man. But the way that I'm teaching you, man, you're not going to have a problem. You're not going to have a problem. Okay. See you later, Zodog. Good to see you. Yes, Adam. We do your we show you how to do your own credit. My goal is not to provide a service to fix your personal credit and all of that. Okay, because that does you a disservice. What we do is we give you the education so then you can discharge and maintain your personal credit profile for the rest of your life without having someone else to help you do it for you. Because if you start becoming dependent on a guru to do things for you and you don't learn yourself, then you're going to be stuck and beholden to that guru for the rest of your life. So I'd rather teach you how to fish and then be able to catch fish for the rest of your life than me do it on your behalf. Does that make sense? So that's what we do in the I Want Remedy Now. It's a beautiful course. We go through it very thoroughly on how we make that happen. Go to www.creditoracademy.com, become a member, and you'll get access to your Athena dashboard from there. Let's go over. Well, okay, someone asked, what's your success rate? Well, success is to the determination of the individual, right? So, for example, I have my academy is perfect for somebody who is a single mother with a full-time job and 3 or more kids. Okay? That is who my academy is tailored to. Out of all the people, now there's other people in other hard situations as well, but I choose that example because the most amount of stress that could be applied is to a mother or a father, single mother or single father, who has a full-time work schedule and children to take care of, and they need to supply food on the table, and they need to get their finances in order, and they need to get into the private. Our academy is geared for somebody who has that type of lifestyle, okay? And even they can accomplish and do it in a short period of time, just like a week or a couple days, you know? So these steps are very effective. They're fast because you don't have to go through the bureaucracy of of registering your business with the state. Have you ever registered your business with the state? You have to go to the website. You got to create, I'll tell you what it's like in Washington State. You got to create a SAW account, okay? A Secured Access Washington account. You got to get your articles of organization. So you got to pay someone for that, a couple $100. You need a registered agent. There's another couple $100. You need to do your filing fees. You need to get answer a bunch of questions. Then you need to get your EIN number, and then you need to submit that. Then you need to wait. You need to wait for the state to approve you, which usually takes to about 2 weeks to get it done. Then you got to get your UBI number. Then when you finally get your UBI number, you get your EIN number, you get your articles of organization done. They update you inside of the Washington State Secretary of State profile. Then you can go to a bank and start opening up a bank account, right? And then what's going to happen is 3 months later, the freaking state is going to knock on your door and say, hey, you got some filing fees and taxes that you have to report to us. How many employees do you have? How much money did you make? What were the things that you purchased in your business? They're just so freaking nosy. They're so nosy. Get out of my business. The hell is it to you? I'm private. Go away. And it's so intrusive. It's so intrusive. Imagine you have to do none of that. Literally all you have to do, take my template, write your name in a couple places, get your EIN number and this bad boy notarized, which takes 10 minutes from any local notary that you want to go to, and you're done. And you're done. Simple as that. Very simple. Very effective. And then you just go get your bank account, right? And I even teach you how to domicile the business trusts where you get the most amount of tax benefits. Did you know there's certain states that give you better tax advantages, better security, better backing for business trusts than others? So I want to talk to you about those states and show you how to domicile there. And now you're even more insulated, right? All right, what other questions? How long with the course would it take me to learn to discharge debt? Let's see. We have two things in I Want Remedy Now. We have the Book Smart series and the Street Smart series. So the Book Smart series is 30 modules and the Street Smart series is 32 modules. Okay, a module is anywhere between 60 minutes, about 60 minutes, right? So the discharging portion, which I really cover in detail in the Street Smart series, out of those 32 modules, there's only 15 of them that go through the whole discharging procedure very clearly, step by step, so then you can do it for the rest of your life. So if that's only if that's half of the modules there, and you're there, so I would say it would take 3 to 4 days to go through all those modules. Realistically. If you did, if you did like 4 modules a day, and you're really determined, 3-4 days, you're done. Right? So 3-4 days to do it. Now the results, let's talk about the results. The results are as soon as 48 hours for the discharging for the credit bureaus, and as late as 30 to maybe 40 days. 30 to 40 days. And that's how quick it is to change your life. That's how quick it is. And then I always say each one teach one, right? As soon as you learn to do this for yourself, find a family member, find a friend, find somebody that you've been telling about this movement forever about. The greatest things in sliced bread. Why don't you do it along with me? No, I'm waiting to see what happens to you first. And then go do it for them. And the most important thing is get encouragement from the other masterclass members. Every day when we meet in masterclass, you're seeing the other members and you can literally say, hey, did this work for you? Yeah, it works for me. Well, how did you do that? I got a similar situation here. And it's just co-collaborative. It's co-collaborative. And you get to learn from other people. Everybody at the Academy is so focused. They don't go outside what we're teaching, which is super nice because it keeps everybody on their toes. Should I receive an email login credentials right away? Adam, yes. So we got, as soon as you sign up, then we send you an email, someone from our tech team. So let me reach out to my developer right now. All right, you'll receive an email shortly, and we'll get you inside of there. Okay, next thing. Yeah, we have 104 staff here at the Academy, and we have what's called Athena LMS. This is our own proprietary software that we use, and it's so great and powerful because you need a learning management system if you're going to do courses. So when I hired my 21 instructional designers, we tried different LMS platforms. I mean, you name it. We tried Thinkific, we tried Cypher, we tried Absorb, we tried Articulate 360, and so many other LMS systems. And the problem is a lot of these systems are not geared to give you... There we go. The problem with these learning management systems is that when we try to put the courses together, that they're not intuitive enough, and they aren't to the standard that we were having for our instructional designers, because we need so many ways to educate you, because we follow what's called the Montessori model. Creditor Academy is a private Montessori association. Have you ever been to a Montessori school? I went to Montessori school pretty much my whole life and before high school, right? And what was great about it is it uses all the sensory parts of education. So touch, sight, sound, repeating information, and a lot of the tactile things of the five senses, okay? So a lot of learning management systems, when they present course material, don't utilize these different sensory engagements. So, and a lot of the course creation was frustrating to do. I mean, sometimes just to create a course, they have 4,000 capabilities on their platform. 4,000. And you have to be like a software genius in order to be able to put a course together. And we're like, can't someone just have a learning management system that's simple to use? Now, learning management systems are newer softwares. I don't know if you knew that. It's a new software system. It only started really catching steam during COVID-19. Because during COVID, what happened with schools? Every teacher had to start teaching on Zoom, right? And then the kids would shut off their cameras, not pay attention. And the teacher would be like, I'm trying to teach the class, but everybody's not on their Zoom call right now, right? So what they had to do is create a software to keep students engaged and to create modules and lesson plans for remote learning, right? So there was already some software similar like that, like Blackboard and a couple other ones. I use Blackboard in some of my schools, but they became more robust after COVID-19, and it started really expanding. So the problem is a lot of learning management systems wanted to throw everything in the kitchen sink for you to be able to create a course. So they came up with 4,000 capabilities. And this just overcomplicated the market for a course creator like myself and my IDs. And even for you, how many of you create courses and sell courses or something like that? And you're frustrated with that you have to be a software expert to learn their software program, right? So we created Athena LMS, Athena Learning Management System. I'm co-founder of Athena LMS. So when you go into our ecosystem and you get access to our platform, the software system itself is what we built. And I think we did an amazing job. And I think it's the most unique software system out there. And the reason why I think it's unique is because most software company owners, when they create software, they lack vision. Most of them are just trying to get it for a profit. They're just like, oh, I see a niche that I can tap into. I mean, LMS industry is a $19 billion a year industry. So who doesn't want to be a part of it, right? So, but they are not course creators themselves. They are not social media influencers, these CEOs. And they lack vision. So me as the co-founder of Athena LMS, when we were developing this, we developed it from the perspective of a social media influencer and an instructional designer, someone who professionally puts courses together, right? So that's my business partner. She's an instructional designer. She's been doing instructional design almost 20 years. She did instructional design for Disney, for Netflix, for Walmart, for major insurance companies. I mean, she's been around the block. She's arguably the best in the world. And she has 21 instructional designers below her that put together the courses at Creditor Academy. Okay? So they are top-notch classes. But even she said, if we don't find a learning management system or build our own that's adequate, your education is going to suffer significantly, right? And so we looked at so many LMS systems. Trust me, I didn't want to build my own. I did not want to have to build my own. But it was, necessity is the mother invention, right? So we said no one has the necessary things that we need to give you the best education possible. So we'll literally build our own learning management system. It took us 9 months to do what other companies do in 15 years. We attribute a lot of that to the advancements of AI and how fastly you could build software nowadays. But we have 80 full-time software developers that just developed this platform. And then the rest are educational counselors at the academy, customer service representatives, people with account management and stuff like that, and so on. So Athena LMS is our baby, and it's also available for retail. So if you want to create courses on Athena, come into our ecosystem, check it out, and we'll get you signed up. And it's very affordable. Learning management systems on average cost $2,000 a month. A month! Can you believe it? For a learning management system. They're the most expensive software system available. And I see some that are like, $300 to $500 a month, which is also still expensive, right? And the reason why is because course creation is a $98 billion a year industry. Think about every guru that you see on YouTube and social media that creates a course and is trying to sell it, right? No matter what the topic is. So it's a very lucrative industry, and that's why these LMS companies charge so much in order to utilize their platform. So we don't do that. I never liked that. I said, well, what about the single mother or single father who's trying to homeschool their kids? and they're trying to put courses together for the benefit of their kids' private education. You're telling me that single mother and father has to come up with $2,000 a month in order to teach their kids at private school and get that started? I don't think so. I don't think that's the right way to do it. So we are the most cost-effective learning management system in the entire industry. And I like to say that we are the most organized and have the most powerful tools for course creation, the likes of that you've never seen. And the reason why I think I confidently say that is because the owners, the CEOs, which is myself and my business partner, we have great vision. We have very good vision because we're coming from the perspective of a social media influencer and an instructional designer who puts together courses themselves, and we wanted to make it simple, effective, and powerful so then you have the best learning experience possible. And we kept really high standards to do exactly that. So I'll be so excited. I mean, I hope that you check it out. Once you become a member, you get instant access to our master classes, to our modules, to our lesson plans, and you even get intro access to our premium courses. And it's all on our own private software. And if you ever want to create your own courses and you want to sell your own program, you're more than welcome to sign up for Athena LMS. It is $7 per user a month for Athena LMS to create courses. I mean, an amazing entry level for you to be able to get into course creation, to make money, or even to help educate yourself. It is AI powered, so AI helps you create the courses. We have a lot of tools. If you ever used Canva before, it's a lot like Canva. It's kind of a lot of drag and drop and course creation, stuff like that, and a lot of great presentation material. So it's really great. So yeah, you can create courses and become profitable, not for $2,000 a month, not for $500, but for $7. So we'd be excited. If you want to check out our platform, go to lmsathena.com if you want to see all the capabilities of our platform. All right, so what time is it? All right, it's almost the top of the hour. I have masterclass for my members here in about a half an hour, so I got to wrap up in the next 10 minutes. Let me go back to questions. Private Sojourner, good to see you once again. Glad to see you. And let me check TikTok. Thank you, King. We will see you within an hour. Fantastic at the Academy. Good to see you, man. Yeah. We'll get you in there. Great information, and for everybody, anybody, the best investment of your life. Hey, thank you. I appreciate the comment, positive feedback. If you have not subscribed or followed, go ahead and hit the like and the follow button. And I love to go ahead and see you. Private Sojourner, I want to see you once again. Greetings to you. Oh, great things. Okay. My final remarks. Let me go over my final remarks for you all today. Is that your freedom isn't free. Freedom isn't free. And it takes sacrifice and a mindset in order for you to set yourself free. The mindset that you need is just the willingness to do something different. And doing something different, which is pretty much how I live my whole life, is a hard thing sometimes to get adjusted to. But with a great community, with proper education, with amazing support and some good direction, anything is possible. So I'm asking you today to be willing to do something different and to entrust in us at Creditor Academy that will lead you down the right direction and give you the most amount of comprehensive support to allow you to be successful. And I want to introduce you to some like-minded people. I don't want you to be on this journey alone. I was alone for so many years doing this journey, and it's great to have friends. It's great to have people to share stories with, to share experiences with, and to really grow with other people that are on the same mental mindset that I am in. And it's great encouragement as well. So join us for our masterclass. Go to www.creditoracademy.com and do two things. Either become a member, or two, come to our non-member orientation this Saturday. There's limited spots. Limited. They fill up quick. And I'm going to be there to talk to you personally, answer your questions, and really want to hear your story. I want to hear about your journey in this movement, and so does everybody else. So I look forward to seeing you all in the next one. Other than that, everybody, have an amazing day. Have an amazing day. And I'll look forward to seeing you all again very shortly.